Hi, I'm Jim Franks, and you're listening to Verse by Verse. One of the major events of Christ's ministry is found in Matthew 4, Mark 1, and Luke 4. This is the incident where Satan came to tempt Christ with the ultimate goal of having Christ worship him, Satan. Our verses for today are Matthew 4, 1 through 2, which give us some background to this great battle that took place between Jesus Christ, the Son of God, referred to by Paul as God in the flesh, and Satan himself. Let's first identify who this being called the devil in verse 1 really is, and where does he get his power. Satan's story is filled in from two chapters in the Old Testament, Ezekiel 28 and Isaiah 14. In Ezekiel 28, verses 13 through 16, we have a description of this being. He was in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. He lied and introduced sin into the world of human beings. He is called an anointed cherub who covers. We're told that he was also at the throne of God and that he was perfect until sin was found in him. He was then cast to the earth where he became the God and king of this world. Based on the promises that he made to Christ, he does carry immense sway over the earth and all its possessions. As the God of this world, he seeks for Christ to worship him, but Christ refuses. Christ knew that this battle was coming. In fact, that it was inevitable. Satan would not allow Christ to be the king to replace him if he could stop it. So how does Christ prepare for this great battle? Let's go to our verses for today, Matthew 4, 1 through 2. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, afterward he was hungry. Jesus Christ, in addition to being God in the flesh, was an extraordinary young man at this point in his life. He was in excellent health. He felt it was important to fast prior to his confrontation with Satan. 40 days and 40 nights is a definitive term. When the Bible refers to both days and nights, we must take the phrase as literal. Just as we are told in Matthew 12 that Christ would remain in the tomb after his crucifixion for 3 days and 3 nights. Just as we accept this term as being literal, we should also accept the 40 days and 40 nights as literal. How could any human being fast, that is to go without food and water for this period of time? Well, we honestly don't have an answer. We do not know of any human being alive today who could fast completely for 40 days and 40 nights. The lesson from these verses is clear. Christ set us an example that whenever you are facing a serious trial, fasting does two things to help you. First, it intensifies your call for God's help. You cannot do this alone. You and I need God's involvement when we have an important decision to make in our lives or when we are facing a trial. The second lesson is a little less obvious, but important nonetheless. When we are faced with a big decision, we need God to show us what will be the correct answer. So in advance of the decision and in advance of the trial itself, we need God's direct involvement in the outcome of the trial, and we need God's answer when it comes to making a decision. We see from Christ's example that fasting is an important tool for every Christian, and we should be using it often, and certainly as we approach a major decision in our lives.
If you've been enjoying Verse by Verse and want to help the show grow, here's what you can do to get the word out. Wherever you're listening, make sure to subscribe. If you're on a platform that accepts reviews and ratings, those can both make a big difference in helping other people find us. Verse by Verse is a companion podcast to the Daily Bible Verse blog, which you can find on the Life, Hope, and Truth Learning Center. Check out the show notes for more.